You've seen the videos pop up on your feed, I know you have. The crazy headline, the Concorde is back in 2026. And it's always over some insane slow-mo shot of it taken off. It gets millions of views, likes and comments, everything. And I get it, it looks awesome. But I'm here to tell you that it's 100% fake. Nobody is fixing an old Concorde. No museum is letting their plane fly again, and there's no secret government plan to bring back a 50-year-old jet. In the next few minutes, we're going to expose the 3 biggest lies fueling this myth, and give you the insane numbers that prove it's all fake. So where did this crazy 2026 date even come from? The whole thing started because a company called Boom Sonic, which was building a new supersonic jet, maybe possibly threw that date out for a tiny little test plane. Not a passenger jet. So what did the internet do? They smashed that date together with the legendary Concorde name, and boom! A viral lie was born. The problem is, 2026 was never for passengers. It was never for the original Concorde, and now Boom has already pushed their own deadline for the new plane to 2029, if they're lucky. And let's talk about the rules, because it's a total nightmare. The FAA in America hasn't approved any new supersonic flights, and in Europe the Concorde safety certificate expired over 20 years ago. In simple English, that means the mountain of paperwork to make it legal again would take away way longer than 2 years. This plane was designed in the 1960s. Even if you found a perfect Concorde sitting in a shed, which you won't, the rules alone won't stop you. You can't just dust it off and fly it. It has to be completely recertified against modern safety standards. It's impossible. Here's another insane truth for you. All 20 Concordes that still exist can never fly again. Not even close. Every single one has been torn apart for parts. It's rotting away in a museum. It is literally filled with concrete to keep it from falling over. There aren't any sleeping beauties out there. They're expensive statues. Airbus, the company that now owns the rights, cancelled Concorde's license to fly back in 2003. It is illegal to fly one without starting from zero. And the spare parts, they're gone. They were sold for scrap metal or given to schools. The flight simulators were completely stripped for parts. Just think about what it would cost to rebuild one. To make a single cockpit window, you'd have to custom build a titanium frame that hasn't been made in decades. The price for one window? Over $100,000. And you need 40 of them. That's just for the windows. Now imagine the engines, the wiring, all the special metal for the body. No airline on earth would pay for that. Not even a billionaire. The only place the Concorde is still flying is in old videos. The Concorde looked amazing, but it was a machine for losing money. Let's look at the numbers. The thing burned over 20,000 litres of jet fuel just to get from London to New York. A modern plane like the A350 is 5 times more efficient. 5 times more efficient. Even if you sold every single ticket for a Concorde flight, which they almost never did, the fuel cost alone would destroy any chance of making a profit. And then there's the crew. You needed 2 extra flight engineers in the cockpit. The special afterburners on the engines needed a crazy expensive overhaul every 750 hours. And you couldn't just buy parts off a shelf. They were all custom made, which was a maintenance nightmare. So what did all this mean? A one-way ticket would cost round about $7,000 today. The number of people who could afford that was tiny then. Today, when you can get a flatbed and Wi-Fi on a normal plane, that number is basically zero. No smart CEO is ever going to bring back that business model. It's a guaranteed way to lose millions. People remember the speed and the champagne, but they forgot how much everyone hated the noise. Concorde sonic bomb was an insane 105 decibels on the ground. That is as loud as a thunderclap right over your head or a jackhammer right next to your ear. It wasn't just annoying, it literally caused damage. The US government banned it from flying over land in 1973 after people filed thousands of complaints for shattered windows and cracked walls. By the way, the ban is still in place today. NASA is working on a new jet, the X-59. That might make the boom quieter, but that technology is years or even decades away from being used on a real passenger plane. The bottom line is, even if you magically had a working Concorde, you could only fly it over the ocean. This massively shrinks the number of routes you can fly, which kills your ability to make money. This exact problem helped kill Concorde in the first place, and nothing has changed. Okay, fine, but what about the company Boom Sonic? Their XB-1 test plane broke the sound barrier in 2025, and every headline screamed, "Concorde is back, hooray!" But they all leave out the most important detail. The XB-1 is a tiny one-person jet. It's just for testing. It's not a passenger plane. Boom's real airliner, the Overture, is a completely different plane. It's designed to hold 60 to 80 people and fly at Mach 1.7, which is actually slower than Concorde. And then there's a reason it's slower. A slower speed can mean a quieter sonic boom. Overture is designed to use 100% sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, S-A-F, which is a massive upgrade from Concorde's gas-guzzling engines. This is all to make it cheaper and legal to operate in today's world. But let's be 100% clear. Overture is not, I repeat, not a new Concorde. It's a totally different plane. And here's the biggest problem. Nobody, I mean nobody, wants to build the engines for it. All the big companies, GE, Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney, have said no. They don't want to spend the billions of dollars it would take. So when will you be able to buy a ticket? Maybe 2030? And that's only if a miracle happens. So why do we keep falling for this fake news? Why do we want it to be true so badly? Because the Concorde came from a time when technology felt like magic. This thing cut the flight across the Atlantic to just 3.5 hours. Believing it can come back feels like rewinding to a cooler, faster, more exciting time. And marketeers know you feel this way. They slap Concorde on the headline, add some epic music, and instantly click because you want to believe in that dream. It's a powerful feeling. The emotion is real, but the plan to bring it back is 100% imagined. If you love me exposing these massive lies, do me a huge favour and smash that subscribe button. We bust myths like this all the time, and you don't want to miss what's next. When supersonic travel really does come back, it's going to look very, very different. We're taking small, 70-seat jets, mostly for super rich people flying between major cities over the ocean. Don't expect to see them everywhere. Experts predict there will be maybe about 50 of them in the entire world by 2040. It's a tiny niche market. For almost all of us, the future is something else. The big companies, Airbus and Boeing, are betting on jets that fly just under the speed of sound. They can cut an hour off a long journey without all the insane costs and problems of supersonic jets. So yes, supersonic flight will return, but it won't be the giant famous plane your parents remember. It will be much quieter and more exclusive. This might be the single biggest reason the Concorde can never come back. By today's standards, it was an environmental disaster. It pumped out about 9 kilograms of CO2 per person. Today's jets are below 0.1 kilogram. That difference is really insane. This isn't just a random number. Big companies today won't let their employees fly on planes that are bad for the environment. Any new supersonic jet has to be net zero or it will get banned. Boom's plan is to use 100% sustainable aviation fuel. Remember SAF? That's a great goal, but here's the reality. Last year, the entire world produced less than 0.1% of the jet fuel needed. There is literally not enough of this green fuel on the planet until someone figures out how to make 1 trillion times more of it. Supersonic jets will be incredibly rare and expensive. Even if you solve the money, noise and fuel problems, you still have to face the Mount Everest of aviation: getting the plane certified as safe. Just making the new rules for testing supersonic jets took the FAA 4 years. Getting a new plane designed, approved, takes tens of thousands of hours of testing in wind tunnels and labs. The original Concorde needed 8 years of testing after its first flight before it could carry passengers. A modern jet like the Boeing 787 needed 20 years because the safety rules are so much harder now. Boom started designing their Overture plane in 2024. So if you do the math, 2032 would be an incredibly optimistic guess for its first flight. Anyone who tells you 2026 for any new supersonic passenger jet is, quite frankly, just trying to get your click. There are no selling you a ticket. They are not selling you a ticket. They won't sell you a ticket because it will not exist. So after all these facts, why does the lie keep spreading? It's simple. Social media algorithms. I can't say that word very well. I'll try again. Algorithms. There you go. They reward exciting lies over boring truths. A single viral video with old Concorde footage and "It's back" title can get 1 million views before anyone can even fact check it. The myth spreads because it's simple and it makes people excited. Let's be real. The aviation companies secretly love the hype. It keeps people talking about supersonic travel even though it's for the wrong plane. After debunking these myths, it's hard. The video will probably get fewer views than the fake videos it's exposing. And so the lie lives on, getting repackaged every few months with a new epic thumbnail of an iconic jet, an iconic plane. So, will you be able to fly a supersonic jet this decade? Yes, 100%. We are right on the edge of a new era of faster flight. But will that jet be a Concorde? Absolutely, definitely, never. The original plane was a legend, a masterpiece of engineering, but it's over. It was killed by its own costs, its insane noise, and a world that just changed. Go see it in a museum, celebrate it, but please don't believe the hype. The future of fast travel is being built with new materials, quieter engines, and green fuels. It's not about bringing back a ghost. So next time you see someone in your feed promising a Concorde comeback, do the world a favour. Send them this video and save them from the disappointment. The supersonic dream is still alive, but it's building the future, not repeating the past.